Welcome back, everybody. So if you haven't been on, your server may be different, but they actually came out today with a couple of events here. Nothing new, but the way they overlap are quite interesting. So they came back out with another resource tycoon, and they brought back the FairyLand event. Okay, so definitely you've seen both of those events before. If you're in a server with a little bit of age on it, I have made videos separately on each of them. But this one brings up an interesting opportunity based on what you're really trying to strive to get. So without getting too deep into it right away, there are a couple different ways to invest in this one if you choose to. Okay, the first one I'll go over is pretty basic, and it's kind of the way the FairyLand event was structured last time. If you look down under the top ups here, you're going to have the majority bulk keys that you're going to acquire from topping up $50 worth of diamonds twice in the same day. Okay, that's going to net you your 90 or advanced keys or gold keys, your 100 silver keys, and you know, a few extra yellows. Now if you want to top up $3 a day, you can to get the extra ones, but I did not add that into my equation because quite frankly it's not really worth it. Okay, now a key note here as well, if you look under your hot events, you're also going to see in the top up tab on the total right has a little bit of contribution to that as well. So on top of the 90 you're going to acquire from go ahead and doing so through the event itself, you're going to get another 40 gold keys and another 200 silver keys here for you, which is a little bit of extra oomph, and that I may say, hey, go ahead and do this one here for yourselves. The nice thing is that it does overlap with the resource tycoon. So yes, the keys and things may not be direct relation to a lot of those things. However, if you look at the actual wheels, there's quite a few things on here, right? You're going to get points from the medium fruit essences and the sprite essences and the gems here for you. So you're going to double dip with the events. So on that note, because some of the resource event prizes based on the point threshold are definitely worth it, that it may be a good one to invest in. However, another keynote I want to point out here while we're just looking at this screen is that there's only 1 in 8 chance to get 3 gold currency for the FairyLand event. Okay, so that is a lower percentage than it has been in other events, and a lower quantity. So just because the amount of keys you acquire through this are pretty standard for the event, and you do get a lot, your chances of obtaining the currency, which is the overall objective, right, to buy the items in the shop here for you, is a little bit harder to obtain. However, I went ahead as usual and broke down the math here and spent quite a bit of time looking this one over and exactly what the medium line is going to be, right? So I did it by mathematical odds. Could you get unlucky and get less? Sure. Can you get lucky and get a lot more? Absolutely, right? So it just depends on how the cards fall here for yourself. But if you were to start day one, which is today, invest $50 twice, so overall $100 investment, okay, you're going to go ahead and acquire through the event itself, through the hot events, you're going to get 140 keys. Now that's a good base number to start with, and I'll explain why here. As you go forward, you're going to be able to convert the yellow keys to gold keys, so you get an extra 5 a day. But the whole point is you want to spend 50 gold keys a day to optimize the whole equation here for you. So if you go ahead and do so, let me hop back in here for you. You can see through the activity that you get keys back for using keys. So if you use 50, it's the maximum return, in my opinion, per threshold, which is going to gain you 18 gold keys back. Okay. Long story short, I don't want to drag it on with all the math and how it broke down here for you, but if you go ahead and actually invest the way I'm going to suggest, you'll end up with a net of 240 golden keys here for you. Now that does not require you to use the diamonds back into the event to acquire them through the shop there for you, but you may want to, and I'll explain here right now. If you, at the end, and everything adds up, if you were to be purchasing them all at once, based on the odds of having the 240 golden keys, you're going to end up with just over 85 gold currency. And you're going to end up with just around 900 silver currency for you. I'm sorry, 90 gold and 900 silver. Okay, that's statistical odds, right? It's not necessarily going to happen for you. Could be worse, could be better, but that's what the odds say. All right. If you were to go ahead and reinvest the diamonds you acquired from topping up into this event, you're going to net an extra 50 gold keys. Okay, so that gives you an extra opportunity to gain 18 to 19 more gold keys, another couple, just short of a couple hundred silver keys. Okay, so what that really translates into, I'm not keys, excuse me, currency. So what that it really turns into is, okay, now you have the 90 plus the 18. Statistically, you're going to have the opportunity to acquire one of the main prizes, right? Whether it be the new Elysian, Sprite, whatever you're really going for, okay? That's the minimum threshold. I can't say guarantee, but pretty much guarantee you're going to go ahead and acquire one. I apologize if you go ahead and do this and you end up slightly short. I mean, the odds are the odds, right? But I can only run it by what is exactly in the middle here for you. So with that being said, that's going to net you some extra resources for the resource event. It's going to get you the amount of currency statistically that you can go ahead and acquire one of those main prizes, as they are usually, and are in this one, 100 of the main currency and 500 of the subsequent currency, so the gold and the silver respectively. With that being said, there is another side to this one, and it depends on what you're really going for. Excuse me, because if you want to dip more into the resource event, there is a different strategy for this one that wasn't really there last time, simply because the resource event wasn't there, right? So if you look at an actual resource tycoon, it's going to go ahead and show you that you acquire points from not only getting diamonds but also spending diamonds, right? The rest is cut and dry, just the same, rubies, gold, soul stones, whatever it may be for that resource tycoon event. Pay attention because they do change, by the way. However, I digress. So going into it, if you look under the actual event for the FairyLand, on the top of the top up, you have a $500 doubles, or $500, $5 doubles your diamonds, $20 doubles your diamonds as well. So what that means for you on the resource tycoon event is that you can double your points based on your investment. So if you just spent the money for the diamonds on the two incremental of 50s and then reinvesting them back in the shop, you're going to end up with 300,000 points. But if you do it $20 a day over the course of the 5 days of both events, then you're going to go ahead and actually net 500,000 points. Okay, 400,000 for the actual diamonds, 100,000 for using said diamonds. And on top of that, you do actually have close to the same opportunity that you would from just doing the two $50 increments, because you're going to start out with 100 keys, or 100 diamonds worth of keys, right? So if you take those and spend them right back into the store, right? So you're going to take 4,000 diamonds a day, buy the keys with them, then you can reinvest that daily. And I ran the numbers, and based on the initial startup of the keys you can buy day one, the initial investment, or the investment through the hot event, you can still statistically run the 50 keys a day strategy through the actual event itself to get the maximum back per spent as far as using them on a daily basis goes. And long story short there, you're going to end up with slightly less, about 228 of the keys, opposed to about 290, right? So with that being said, your opportunity to go ahead and 100% sure you're going to grab one of the main prizes is obviously less, but you're going to gain more prizes throughout the resource tycoon. So, and there are some more powerful items in here. So if you look at some of the target rewards, you're looking at tyrant equipment that you probably wouldn't have, mount souls of your choice, celestial equipment, more relic boxes, more mythic stones, more legendary accessories that you can't acquire anywhere else. Topazes here, which are significantly important for your God Soul core and have been one of the hardest items to acquire. Now, I do see that, these, and keep in mind, you're getting a few 100,000 points. You're looking at most of these, right? I mean, all the way down to here. So anything there and down, you're getting, right? You're going to get wings. You're going to get stones. You're going to get, mythic stones. You're going to get topazes. You're going to get tyrant equipment. You're going to get relic pieces if you haven't acquired all your relics, and other things as well to augment and upgrade, those said items. But with that being said, depending on where you're at with your game, maybe you're happy with your allegiance. Maybe you're happy with your sprites. Maybe you're like, really, do I want to invest that money to get just another one I'm not going to use, right? Because you can only use one at a time. And if you have a pretty high one, having the next level is really not that much of an incentive anymore. Okay, at least for me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're like the Pokemon, you got to collect them all, which is fine. And maybe the 2 times the $50 increments is better for you. So long story short, just kind of summing up, I know it was really quick and all over the place, but if you do the normal $50 twice in the same day, you're going to get the amount of keys that you need through the hot events and the sale itself. Make sure you convert enough, as maximum as you can, yellow keys to red keys every day, so get the 5 extra you need. Spend 50 of those red keys or the golden keys per day to acquire the 18 back. You space it out that way over the course of the event. By the end of the 5 days, you're going to have statistically what you're looking for to acquire one of those main prizes. Okay. Second option, go ahead and spend $20 a day and then reinvest those double diamonds back in the store, which is going to double dip for your resource event and help you acquire those more high-end level prizes to continue to grind towards that celestial equipment, epic and legendary God Soul cores, things like that. Okay, so the overall use of the resources remains the same. 50 keys a day. Make sure you're following the event, doing your daily activities, converting the keys over from silver to gold as you can. Only do 5 a day, but it is important to keep those numbers running optimally. But overall, it's an interesting time because we haven't had a Resource Tycoon event dip into another major event, right? And by major event, I mean the way it is now. The Halloween event, the Christmas event, one that acquires the structure that this one lays out here for you with the FairyLand event, like it did last time, with the optimal prizes here for you, and not just some of the other ones. And by other ones, I mean, the Frisbee events, or there's several others, but let's just say, for sake of arguments, the fireworks event, the millionaire event. Even though those are both going on right now, all those extra smaller events are what I can consider secondary events. So with that being said, these 2 major events overlapping is definitely a unique time. If you have the money to invest and you are waiting for an event for it to happen, this is probably the most optimal situation for you. All right, so I hope that helps you look at this one in a little clearer light. As far as advice for the resource event and or the FairyLand event specifically, those strategies haven't changed, and you can see those in my other videos here for you. But as always, thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.